Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marin Espinoza, and the purpose of this speech is to inform you about the use of force by police in America and how it is understood and perceived by the public. The rapid rise of video footage has depicted many instances in which police use force and has created a controversial view of police and has created a sense of fear and resentment by the public. The digital age has brought upon many incidents in which police use force. Many of these instances show police using proper procedures to stop and subdue a subject, while other instances show police using excessive force up to and including deadly force without any proper justification. The first major of these incidents is the recording of Rodney King as he was punched, kicked, hit with batons, and even hit by a taser by multiple police officers while he lay down defenseless. Despite the recorded footage, none of the officers were indicted, which sparked what we know as now as the LA riots. Since then, a multitude of videos have surfaced showing police using force, which has created a sense of police brutality as a norm in America. Some of these videos are given little thought and soon forgotten. However, other videos have sparked protests, riots, and the rise of activist groups. These incidents include, but certainly not limited to, the department banned chokehold that killed Eric Garner, the fatal shooting of Walter Scott as he ran away from police, the fatal shooting of Daniel Shaver as he crawled towards police, pleading for his life, and the incident depicting Saheed Vassell as he pointed a gun-shaped pipe at multiple people in an aggressive manner, and soon also pointed it as police as they arrived and fatally shot him. Other instances that were not caught on video footage, however, are very important, is the killing of 18-year-old Michael Brown in Ferguson and the shooting of Philando Castile during a routine traffic stop. The killing of African Americans in America has created a distorted image of police and a huge distrust by the public. This distrust is not only caused by the use of force, but also by the attempted cover-ups. During the Michael Brown shooting, the officer that shot him stated that he was in fear for his life because he felt as if Michael Brown was as strong as Hulk Hogan due to his size, which led to his escalation of force. This is known as the fear defense. Roland Fryer from Harvard did a study on 1,200 reports on 10 different jurisdictions. In this study, he discovered that police were more likely to use force on an African American due to the escalation of fear to control the situation. In the instance of Laquan McDonald, the fear defense was also used. The officer that shot Laquan McDonald, his lawyer stated that his client was truly in fear for his life as well as the lives of the other officers during the incident. All the officer's statements say that Mr. McDonald charged the officer with a weapon and waved it in a threatening manner. And the sergeant of the department reviewed all the statements and the footage and corroborated with the statements. However, dash cam video footage revealed that Mr. McDonald did not charge the officer. He in fact was moving away from the officer while he was shot. And while he was on the ground, was shot again as he was defenseless. Those false statements were seen as a cover-up, which led to the indictment of all the officers, including the one who shot him, and charged with first-degree murder. With these instances and cover-ups, it has created the rise of the Black Lives Matter movement, especially in the case of Michael Brown. Some believe that the claim of the Black Lives Matter of racial inequality and racial injustice are unfounded. However, data studies suggest that these claims can be true. There are dozens of studies out there, however, few have stood out. Particularly, the study conducted in 2016 called the Fatal Force Project, which was led by journalist Wesley Lowery of the Washington Post, which won him the Pulitzer Prize. This project utilized over 70 journalists throughout the department to track every fatal shooting that occurred in 2015. Some of the more important statistics include 1/4 of those fatally shot had a history of mental illness. Most of those who were killed were white males, and unarmed African Americans were at vastly higher risk of being shot after a routine traffic stop. Also, a clear majority, 74%, of people fatally shot by police were armed with guns or killed after attacking a police officer or a civilian. The data also reveals that African American men account for 40% of unarmed men shot to death, despite only making 6% of the population. These views, along with the data research, have led to a depiction of excessive force and deadly force as the norm, and has correlated police response to brutality. However, it is important to understand what force is. For many departments, force does not require physical contact. In fact, verbal instructions could be counted as force, as well as the action of apprehending somebody. Additionally, the portrayal of deadly force by the media is not accurate. On average, deadly force occurs on less than 1% of police encounters in America, according to Associated Press. With that being said, for the conclusion, there must be an understanding created between the public and the police. The data shows that it is true that there is some racial inequality in America, however, not to the level that many perceive it or want it to be. Also, the data is vital to tracking these shootings, however, it can be misleading. Even in the research that I annotated, that research did not account for all the use of force that did not use physical force. Additionally, for police departments, excessive force needs to have clear and severe discipline for the police officers to ensure the community that there is accountability for the officers who use excessive force. Until then, the police will be seen as a militarized force and not as public servants of the community. Thank you.